Today, since we're all kind of stuck at home, I thought that I would show you guys a little bit of something that's exotic, travel related, cooking to do at home that's pretty cheap. It's really, really delicious stuff that I grew up on. This is something that people cook in Puerto Rico. Really, really tasty, like potato chips, but a little bit better for you. And I'm talking about fried plantains. You can usually find a plantain for about 25 to 30 cents. You want to get a green one. They kind of look like bananas, except the tips, you can tell the difference. The tips look like burnt, they look like cigar, like someone who's been smoking a stogie on both ends. This is perfect. You can store these in your fridge. They keep for longer in the fridge, and you can still use them to do stuff when they turn yellow, but not for what we're wanting to do. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be double frying these in oil. So let's get started. You're going to need a few utensils to get started: a cutting board, a sharp knife, a wooden spatula with a flat end, and a mixing bowl with some water and a little bit of salt. You have about a teaspoon to a tablespoon of salt in there, kind of mixed up. Paper towels, and of course some oil. I'm going to fill the oil line up to about, this isn't on right now, but about the bottom of these little metal things, about that much oil in the bottom of the pan. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to take our spatula, set it off to the side, and we're going to take our first plantain. And what you want to do is just go ahead and don't try to peel this like a banana. What you're going to do is going to cut right about here. And we're going to do the same thing to the other end. Just cut right through it. Put those pieces to the side. We don't need those. And now would be a good time to go ahead and start your oil if you haven't started it. Go with low to medium heat. And now we're going to take the plantain and we're going to cut through the peel, just the peel part, so about 1/4 of an inch deep. And then you're just going to run your knife along the spine of the plantain so you can get your thumb into the separation between the plantain and the skin. And just work your thumb through, all the way through until about the halfway point. And then kind of turn the plantain around and do the same thing on the other side. Be really, really careful on the ends. A lot of times that's the hardest place to separate the peel from the plantain itself. You'll end up taking chunks of plantain with you. And you're just going to keep going until you get all the way through the skin, just like this. And then that we're done with. I'm going to take this, throw it in the trash. Okay, next you're going to take your plantain and you're going to cut about a 1-inch slice. You can do it at an angle if you want. You don't have to. It makes it a little bit easier sometimes to smash them, which is what we're going to do later on. And you're going to end up with about 3/4 inch to 1-inch slices. And you're going to do that all the way through the plantain. Okay, so sometimes you might end up with little pieces like this. Just take your knife and slide those little woody pulpy bits of the skin right off. Just done. And you're good to go. And when you're done over here, just put them in the water and give them a little swish. Bling. Now, if everything has worked out just fine, the oil should be about to temperature right now. Remember, we set it for a low heat, as low as possible, and just let it kind of heat up slowly over time. What we're looking for is when we go to drop them in, we get a little bit of that sizzle from them. So if they're not quite ready yet, if you give it a little test, be very, very careful and make sure to shake the plantain as dry as possible so that they're not too wet, so that you don't get like pops or sizzles. If you get lots of pops, that means the heat's a little too hot. So you're just gonna kind of gently test it to see if you got a little bit of that sizzle. in there. You don't want to put them into the oil too early because then they don't crisp up like the way that they're supposed to. So I'm going to make sure that my oil is up to temperature before continuing. Okay, what we want to do first is we want to put a paper towel into the bottom of our bowl just so that it soaks up any of the excess oil. Bling! And we're going to start dropping our cuts of plantains into the frying oil. And as you can see, this is how we want the oil to look when we go to drop them in. And we're going to fill it to about this point. Bling! Alright, next we're going to transfer this batch over when it's all done. We want them to be about this color here, this nice golden brown color. About 2 to 3 minutes at the right temperature should get you to this point. And while those are cooling, we're going to go ahead and put the next batch in. Now you're going to take your wooden spatula and you're going to take the plantains that you just fried and you're going to place them on a cutting board, and you're just going to give them a push gently down until you get to about a ½ inch to three quarters of an inch, about a ½ inch in size, in width. So I'm just going to repeat this process, moving through quickly. And now, remember we have our other batch going. That batch should be ready to go once you finish smashing, so you can go ahead and remove those from the oil, start the next batch. And then once that's all done, you're going to take these smashed plantains and you're going to drop them into the oil for the second round. Just speed up that process a little bit here. And you can see them sitting in the oil. Alright, now's a good chance to go ahead and switch out your paper towels because they're probably pretty oily. There you go. Alright, and we're going to take those refried plantains. They've gone through the second time now. We're going to transfer them out. You want them to get about this darker golden brown color. Another 3 to 4 minutes at the right temperature. And I'll just keep transferring these in. Now you're going to want to use this magic ingredient right here, adobo. This stuff can be found in your Spanish food section. It's a Goya product. You're going to take it, you're going to sprinkle some on the double fried plantains. Well, things are looking pretty good here. I've got the last batch going. The thing that is missing is the dipping sauce. And there is a particular dipping sauce that just like peanut butter and chocolate just pairs so perfectly together with fried plantains. And you need 4 ingredients, really just 3, but if you have the 4th one, that would be ideal. The 4th one, of course, being adobo. If you don't have adobo, some garlic powder, a little black pepper, and some cumin will do. You need minced garlic, mayonnaise, and ketchup, and a mixing bowl. While I'm mixing ingredients, I just want to mention that if you like this video, please give it a like, go ahead and subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. It really helps my channel out. Feel free to check out my Instagram page for more images of wonderful places in the world. Mix, mix, mix. And here we have the finished product. Yeah, that is what it's all about. That's good.